Welcome the Wickets! It's one of the most popular games in the world, and it's growing fast right here in Bentonville. We head to the cricket pitch to explore the sport and the boom happening right now. Growing up bikes. As the summer months signal no school, plenty of kids are actually heading back to class. But this class is on those world-class bike trails in our city, more on Bike School, and a popular player. Our downtown conversation is all about a fan favorite from the football field. DJ Williams tells us how he got from Texas to Arkansas and how his family survived domestic abuse. That and more as another edition of Downtown Now starts now. Good Sunday morning. Welcome to another edition of Downtown Now. I am Aaron Nolan.
I'm Dana Schlegenhaft, and we're joining you from the only Strider bike shop in America. Did you know that?
I did not, but I will tell you that this place is so special. My kids love coming in here, playing around. This is a one-of-a-kind spot right here on the square.
Let me tell you a little more about this store. Located right here on the Bentonville Square, as Aaron said. It's more than just a kid's bike shop. Inside you'll find local brands, gear, swag, a few toys. We sell some toys and more. Basically, it's everything your little one needs to grow up in the mountain biking capital of the world. Check out the 2,400 square foot store at 109 North Main Street. And as you see behind us, some awfully cute little bikes.
A lot of great bikes, a lot of gear for your cycler, as well as a lot of really cool toys. But I do want to bring up one other thing. They're also on a mission to make sure all kids can bike all across the country. Bentonville kids have access to Strider bikes in their school. They're trying to get these bikes everywhere. It's amazing.
It's a great mission.
All right, so let's go a little bit further when we're talking about research. I recently did some research, Dana. What do you think is the #1 sport across the world?
Baseball.
Absolutely not. It's not baseball. It's not American football.
Okay.
It is soccer with 3.5 billion fans, but coming in #2 is a sport a lot of us here in Bentonville know really nothing about. It's cricket. 2.5 billion fans of cricket across the world, and a lot of them, hard to believe, are right here in Bentonville. Recently, I went out to the wickets and the pitch to find out more about cricket in Bentonville.
Free hits, leg before the wicket, super over.
For most of us in Bentonville, these sports terms are not the ones we're used to.
There are 2 batsmen at a time in the field, and there are like 11 players in the opponent team who stays in the field. One of them is called the bowler, who's going to deliver the ball, and another person is going to be a wicket keeper who stands behind the batsman.
But make no mistake about it, cricket is on the rise in Northwest Arkansas.
Everybody that was here, I'm 100% sure that they've been playing this game since childhood. Back home when they were in the streets or in the whatever little space you have, there'll be cricket be played there. Cricket has been played in this town since '95.
For the last few years, the sport didn't have its own playing ground, instead adapting to a baseball field in town.
Because in the baseball, where we pitch it, you don't have much distance on the one side you are boxed out, but then you have other field open there. So that's why you had to kind of modify the game based upon what you have available.
But last year, the city stepped up to the wicket, literally, building this full-size cricket ground over 14 months at Creekside Park. The price tag was $800,000, but the reward is proving to be well worth it.
It means a lot. It means a lot of it. And it's really, this is kind of a dream come true for many of the people. Bentonville Parks and Recreation is really just doing this for us, just to have come out along with the family, to be out there in summers and have fun. That means a lot to us.
Now, with an official place to play inside this city park, there will no doubt be more games to come, which means more people can learn and love this worldwide game.
I personally know a lot of American friends here. They know about the sports, but they never seen it. Now right here, as you're saying, kids are playing there. There are a lot of people that's going to be on the trail here. They're going to be looking at it. Hey, what is that? It's the exposure right here.
A new Bentonville home for one of the most popular sports in the world will no doubt teach the game while bringing people closer together.
We don't see opponents as opponents. They're more than friends for us when we go outside the field. And that'll be like a lot of fun. And with a ground like this and an opportunity given like this, I see it's going to be like a tremendous growth in cricket in this. And I see this is just a start.
Man, those teams are amazing. It's really cool to watch what I don't know, right?
It is.
And everyone can come out. They're welcoming. They want you to go out to Creekside Park in Bentonville. In fact, your family saw some of the games.
We spent an afternoon watching, and it is, as baseball fans, it's a fascinating game. It's totally different, but it's super exciting. And there's a lot of passionate players right here in Bentonville.
Absolutely. In fact, you can hit a ball behind you.
Yeah.
And it's not a foul.
No.
But
really
cool.
Cool game. Cool
It
game.
really is.
All right, well, the Razorback Greenway is one of 9 trails added this summer to the National Trails System. It joins more than 1,300 existing national recreation trails in every state, DC, and Puerto Rico. The Razorback Greenway is a 40-mile shared-use trail that connects several cities throughout our region. We mostly know that. Did you know it was considered by many as the backbone of Northwest Arkansas?
I did not.
Little trivia for you. According to the National Park Service Director, national recreation trails are some of the country's highest caliber trails, and I believe it because we've got a great trail system right here in Northwest Arkansas.
Without a doubt, we do. We're talking about kids' bikes in Strider, but there is a new bicycle playground, if you will, for adults. It's called Fox Racing. There's a retail experience opened up in downtown Bentonville. The store just a short ride away from us here and Slaughter Pen Trails and Kohler Mountain Park. Inside, you'll find all kinds of bikes, lifestyle, motocross, apparel, hard goods, anything you may want to purchase or rent for your next cycling adventure. Now, Fox is based in California, but chose Bentonville as their first retail location.
Bentonville is just really thriving in the mountain bike industry, and it's an amazing opportunity to be a part of the community. Just with the way it's moving through the industry is just awesome.
The store blends riding and nature in its design. Check them out, 409 Southwest B Street.
And Aaron, before your kids hit the trail, they need to learn the basics, and that's where Bentonville Bike School comes in. Their goal is simple. They want to lay the foundation for beginner to advanced mountain bikers to become their best right here in Bentonville.
The natural state says it all. So I think for a lot of folks, they take things for granted that are in the backyard here, and the Ozarks offer an immense amount of beauty.
Just minutes away from downtown Bentonville, nestled within lush trees and waterfalls, you'll find a school and kids learning.
So especially for programming like Kyla and I and the team are doing with Bike School, we've got the outdoors out our backyard, off of the square, even accessible from Fayetteville, Rogers, all the surrounding communities. The ease of being in the outdoors and the safety element. There's so many pieces here that just are a natural fit for us.
Think ski school for mountain bikers. It's a natural need Kyla Templeton and Nat Ross realized was lacking in the mountain biking capital of the world.
There was a real need for programming for elementary school kids and middle school, kind of like leading up to NICA.
From summer camps to trail kids programming throughout the year to academy and community teams, there are options for any mountain biker looking to get more serious and pretty pumped about cycling.
I get really excited because I know that I'm going to be able to do really fun trails like Jesse's Last Stand and 3-pack because they're fast and I'm learning how to do things like jumps.
And these kiddos are learning discipline and skills from pros, teaching them to become the best biker and person that they can be.
Part of my background, this is a former life as a professional cyclist for a couple decades, really brings me into grooming the next population and the next generation into the skill sets, but also just the mentality. Kyla and I started this premise of building the student athletes into just well-rounded people, well-rounded friends of the community, and then they get to do that with their own friends on the bike at Bike School.
I learned how to do the berms, the skinnies, and I went on the
like big jumps that I usually never do.
It feels so good to see the kids do things they didn't think they could, and also just make progress without feeling like they're working. It's so fun and so playful, and they're learning without kind of realizing it.
This is the perfect area for all of that to come to culmination. So Bentonville, yeah.
And we know you want to learn more about Bentonville Bike School. Maybe have your kids take a lesson.
It's a great idea. They do some really cool things on the trails in Northwest Arkansas.
It is, bikeschoolbentonville.com. Check them out.
After the break, we sit down with a buddy of ours, a friend of Downtown Bentonville Inc., but also an Arkansas Razorback football legend. DJ Williams tells us about his past and how it's fueling his future. DJ Williams was a highly sought-after player. He chose the Arkansas Razorbacks over the OSU Cowboys. And then his senior season at Arkansas, DJ Williams was awesome. He won the Mackey Award for the best tight end in the country. He also won the Disney Spirit Award, which is given to the most inspirational player in college football. If you don't know his story about why he is inspirational, here's our downtown conversation with Arkansas Razorback, DJ Williams. You look at DJ Williams now.
Yeah.
Pretty successful guy.
Tried to be.
You're a television host. Mm-hmm. You host newscasts. You're a very successful real estate agent. But let's go back to your time in Texas, before you were even a teenager. Mm-hmm. Domestic violence hit your family. It was a difficult time growing up.
Yes, difficult in a big way now that I'm sitting where I am today. But back then, you know, it was very hard for me to see that anything was drastically wrong, because that's just all I knew. Mm-hmm. It was my normal. Unfortunately, my father did not treat my mom good at all. He's very abusive. And what people really don't know about domestic violence is, yes, what's very hard to see is the physical abuse, which I saw a lot, but the verbal attacks as well, and the mental abuse is just as bad, you know. And seeing my mom, who is a superhero, one of the greatest people, the greatest person I know, have to go through that, even at a young age, when I was still trying to figure out the difference between right and wrong. And most people would say, you know, that's the role of a father, to teach his son how to be a man and what is right and wrong. Even then, at that age, I knew that wasn't right.
Right versus wrong for your family. You and I, again, are close. We know each other. Your 11th birthday was kind of that moment where right versus wrong became crystal clear.
Yeah, for me, I would say also, too, more from my mom, because it was my birthday. Dad took me out fishing. And he was very just nonchalant about how things would go down and what would happen. I remember him stopping at a gas station, what was later than I found out, purchasing some drugs or, you know, of that sort of nature, but leaving me in the car and setting a pistol in my lap and just saying, if anybody comes to the car, just shoot them.
11 years old.
Yeah, and even then, I'm just processing then, like, okay, Dad, I'm used to this. A few times that would happen even at the house when he would leave. Anybody comes, shoot me. That was a norm. But in that moment, just knowing that I never really had a place where I would go to school and see other people talk about home and family and dad. I just had no idea what that was like. And I said, is this going to be the rest of my life? I could just take this gun, pull the trigger on myself, and not have to worry about the rest of it. And I remember just that thought just crossing my head, and then quickly just saying, you know, no. But telling my mom about that story, and that was the trigger for her that started this whole path to where you and I are sitting here today. Very interesting path that it led us down.
Do you remember that date when your mom said, we've got to leave this situation?
Oh man,
to go somewhere else. And when you put your finger on a city in the middle of Arkansas, and you guys left that night with only the clothes on your back.
Yeah, I remember I don't remember the exact date, but I remember the day. I remember exactly what I was doing. I was mid-bubble bath. I was in there for hours. You know, when your fingers get pruny,
yeah.
You got to run the water again, keep it hot. I had a big battle going on with one Power Ranger and some knockoff thing. Huge scene going on. My sister bust in, and I'm like, what is happening? She said, you got to go. I was like, I need about 15 more minutes. I had a whole storyline. We got to get to the finish. She says, David, that's what they call me, we need to go. And I could see in the sense of urgency in my sister's face at an age of 11 years old that this is it. I knew exactly what was happening without her even saying a word. Got out of the bath, put on the clothes that we had. I saw my mom was home with some random guy. I didn't know who he was. We just hopped in the car and we went to the closest women's shelter. And then, because we went that day, because the night before my dad didn't come home. Usually when he doesn't come home, when he shows up, something bad happened, he's angry, and he would always take it out on my mom. So we knew it was time to get out of there. And it was just making that choice to get up and move. We're in a shelter trying to figure out what happened. We heard my dad get high and drunk at his dad's house. He talked about breaking the cycle. He was with his dad getting high and drunk, got into an altercation, ended up shooting someone. You know, he was wanted for attempted murder. And he was hiding from the police. They ended up finding him. He's in a high-speed chase with the police officers in the interstates of Dallas, Texas, to the point where they had to throw the spikes out. He got a shootout with the officers on the interstate. They shot him, went to the hospital. He didn't die, sentenced to 26 years in prison. And so I'm over here, you know, we're like, whoa. And so we finally get at a point where we just wanted a fresh start. And before he was sentenced, we weren't sure what was going on. We wanted somewhere safe. My mom brings me in there with the counselor and says, son, where are we going? Pulls out a map of the United States. I'm young, I don't know what's happening. I just put my finger on it and they said, okay. I was like, okay. And then I go on about my business. And my finger landed in Little Rock, Arkansas. And that's where we moved. And I joke all the time saying if I would have known the significance of where I would put my finger, like we could have been in San Diego, you know, we could have been in Miami, you know, all these other cool places.
But your life probably wasn't going to be.
That's right. But then it goes back to thinking I was supposed to be in Little Rock, Arkansas. Obviously, the one person who was the cornerstone of it all was my mom. And I wish she was here because as much as I talk about this, people look at my incredible story. It's nothing compared to what she did and what she is still currently doing now. So if she's saying this, Mom, I love you. You're a rock star and the best person I know.
Mama Vicky is a legend.
Yeah, she is, right?
Your gift is much bigger than football.
Mm-hmm.
It also extends to that impact that you made. When did you realize that? I mean, you were the Mackey Award winning, the best tight end in the country your senior year. You won the Disney Spirit Award. You were drafted by the Green Bay Packers. You had that talent. But at some point you had to realize that you can do just as much away from the field because of your experience.
The news job was the first time ever I tried to do something professionally where I couldn't see other people do it first and learn from them. Football, it's easy. You look at the best. What are they doing right? I can work on these things and then kind of make it my own. If you do that in the news, try to act like someone else, people are like, what's wrong with that person? It's not genuine at all. So I was just like, I have to just try to be myself and see what happens. But after I was me, and just to see that it was well received by the viewers and the public, and they wanted more and they wanted more, and I was just like, man, me just being DJ is enough. And I have all of this stuff that I gained from sports and doing things the right way as a huge platform to boost this voice of mine and make sure that I can do my part of helping people out in the situation I am in. And it doesn't have to just be domestic violence. People deal with their struggles everywhere. But it's about, you know, when you finally get out of that, how are you going to give back to the community, make that difference? And for me, even, it's still happening every day. You talked about that shelter I went to. I went there around Christmas time, and I was kind of looking at all these different aspects, and I saw some problems. I was like, dang, I wish that toilet would work. Man, that washing machine isn't happening. I was like, they only got one shower. I started seeing all these things, and I was just like, I talk about it. What am I doing about it? So I had conversations with the right people, and now I'm on the board. So now I can finally start making decisions that are going to impact people and hopefully boost them to give them opportunity to be the next DJ, I would say. It'd be pretty cool. Right.
DJ Williams,
hey,
my
man.
friend, thank you.
Good to see you.
Appreciate
Thanks.
I'm lucky enough to call DJ Williams a very close friend, and he is fantastic at football. He's fantastic at the news. He's even a real estate agent down in Central Arkansas. But one thing I know I can beat him at, pickleball. We'll prove it after the break right here on Downtown Now. All right, we're talking sports popularity. Cricket #2 in the world. Going up that list really quickly is pickleball.
I've heard you talk quite a bit about pickleball in the office.
I love this little game. I feel like I'm on a ping pong table myself, like standing on it. It is an absolute blast. We did ask DJ Williams to compete against me. He did decline in fear.
Total fear, but Liz Gonzalez from DBI, one of our coworkers, stepped up to the challenge and took on this guy right here.
Let's go pickleballing.
Hey up.
Liz has been talking a lot of trash about how good she is at this game called pickleball. And I know she's right over my shoulder thinking that she's getting in my head. It's not gonna happen.
I was kind of hoping for some competition. No, I'm just kidding. I can't say that.
Hey up, hey up, hey up. Hey up, hey up, hey up.
One more.
Yeah, it does. It does feel something. It is hot out here. There's nothing quite like pickleball. And Bentonville does it right at Osage. Liz was quite the, well, can we go check on Liz? Kermit?
Liz. Oh my God, please. Hey, Kermit, sorry. You can talk to my lawyer.
Bravo to Liz. She is a fantastic pickleball player. Rematch very soon.
Thank you, Liz, for that amazing content. And thank you for joining us on this Sunday morning.
Yeah, we're going to do this again next Sunday, I think.
Yeah.
You want to do it again?
Yeah.
I think we have to.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, right here on KFSM, 10:30. See you then.
The sun is 93 million miles away. The least we can do is give it a warm welcome each morning.